Hey everyone, and welcome to this video. I'm Minxlaura123, and in this video I'm going to be talking about things that have changed about me from being in my 20s to now being in my 40s. So yes, I'm now 43 years old, or as I prefer to say, 43 years young. And you know, there are things that have changed about me. Like, don't get me wrong, there are things that have not changed and are literally the same, but there are a lot of differences in, you know, who I am as a person from being in my 20s to being in my 40s. And so some people are really shocked and give me lots of compliments actually when I tell them that I'm in my 40s. They're like, no, you don't look like you're in your 40s, you don't act like it, you don't look like it, you know. And that's really cool, like, thank you. But to be fair, age is nothing but a number, okay? But I don't know, like sometimes I feel, you know, that I am in my 40s, you know, but then other times I just don't. So it's like a real kind of mixture. But anyhow, I've got this little list here of things that I kind of thought about that have changed about me. There's probably loads of other things, as I say, but I can't remember everything. These are just things that I've thought of. But we're just going to go through the list, talk about stuff, and please leave me a comment down below. I love reading your comments, and tell me how you've changed, you know, from your younger years to how you are now. You know, some of these changes are positive. I would say actually most of these changes are positive looking at my list, but yeah, just let me know, you know, about you. I love hearing about you. Okay, so the first thing, by the way, these are in no particular order. They're just things that I've just thought of and jotted down on my notebook. The first thing is less makeup. So actually, this is the reason why I did this video in the first place. The idea come from, I was doing a live stream the other day, and one of my lovely viewers said to me how my skin was really good, and I said, oh, that's because I don't really wear makeup anymore. And then I kind of started rambling on about how I used to wear makeup and, you know, I don't now. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea for a video. You know, I can talk about how I've changed, and here I am. But yeah, the whole makeup thing, like when I was in my 20s, I used to cake myself in makeup, like seriously everything, like smoky eyes, you know, the bright lipstick, the blusher, like everything. And I couldn't even go out like to the corner shop without makeup. Like unless I had a full face of makeup, I did not feel confident. And, you know, there were times when I used to like rush around to go out or rush around to get to work. And if I hadn't done my makeup properly or hadn't put enough on, I would just be really sort of insecure, paranoid. And it would, you know, it would really affect me. But then, yeah, a few years ago, I had some issues with my eyes. I won't go into that and bore you, but it's basically like I was like wearing some old makeup. It was like glitter makeup. It got in my eye, it scratched my eye, and I had to go to hospital. I had lots of like issues with it. And I think from that, I had a stage of not wearing makeup, obviously, on the eyes because, you know, I didn't want to make things worse. And then I went so long without wearing eye makeup. When I was given the okay that, you know, you can wear makeup again if you want to, I was like, I don't know if I want to or not. I was kind of used to sort of seeing myself with no eye makeup and stuff. And also when I did try and put makeup on, they would get sore, they get sensitive, you know, and I just felt really paranoid that something could go wrong again. And I just basically ended up not wearing eye makeup. And then from there, it obviously went to not really wearing this, not wearing that. And so most of the time you'll see me in videos, and also obviously in my everyday life, I don't wear makeup. I mean, obviously, special occasions, certain things, or just maybe sometimes I feel like it, you know, whatever. I will wear some makeup, but it's mainly just like a bit of foundation, a bit of blush, some lipstick, lip gloss, that kind of thing. Very, very now and again, I'll put like a tiny bit of eyeshadow, just like, you know, rub it on my finger just to have a little bit of colour. But I don't know, I just kind of, I feel weird when I wear makeup now. Like the other day, I wore like a really bright coloured lipstick. And all I could think when I was out was, oh my God, I hate this lipstick. You know, I kept thinking people were staring at me and I felt really paranoid. And I just, yeah, I actually feel better without makeup. And not just the confidence thing, but it's also like my skin. My skin is a lot better now I don't wear makeup. Back in the day when I was wearing makeup all the time, like I'm probably not taking it off at night properly, moisturizing or cleansing, all that jazz, my skin was terrible. You know, I was endlessly getting spots after spots after spots and blemishes, and now I'm not wearing that makeup. Yes, I still get spots. For example, look, I have a big spot on my neck over there, but like cover it up. But in general, my skin is a lot better from not wearing makeup. You know, look, everyone's different. Some people feel more confident in makeup as, you know, they get older and they want to, you know, use all their lotions and potions and different makeup, and that's good. Like, if that makes you feel confident, it's all good. But for me, it's kind of had a like reversal. I actually feel more confident without makeup, which is really surreal from my 20s to now. Anyhow, so yeah, less makeup now as I'm older. Okay, so these are really random. I've put not flirty now. Okay, so when I was younger, like, I was a bit of a social butterfly. It sounds really odd saying that now, but anyway, I was, and I used to go pubbing, clubbing, out all the time. And I'll be honest, I was a terrible flirt. I would literally flirt with anyone, anything. You know, if there was a door there, I'd probably give it, you know, all right, how you doing? I wouldn't flirt with the door, really. I'm just saying that for jokes. But, like, well, I don't know, maybe I would. But seriously, I was very flirtatious. Now, as a person, I am quite a friendly person if I'm in a good mood. But, like, I'm not, like, now, I'm not flirty. I think the only person I flirt with is Nathan, who's my fiance. Put a ring on it, so it's all good. But even with Nathan, like, we've been together 10 years. I don't necessarily know if I flirt as such. I don't know. But, you know, but if I was to flirt, he'd be the only one. But yeah, I was very flirtatious, and you know, it's it's something that's really changed about me. I'm just not flirty. You know, obviously I'm in a serious relationship, so for starters, I wouldn't flirt with anyone else because of that. But also, I think, I don't know, at my age, I just don't feel like I would probably be a flirt if I was single either. I don't know, but anyhow, I'm not flirty basically. Next up, bookworm now, barely read then. Yes, that is true. So in my 20s, if you'd have told me that I would be sitting in with a cup of tea and a book and a blanket over my legs, I'd have said, don't be stupid. It's never going to happen. Because as I say, I was out so much. I was partying, I was meeting people, I was going out. And, you know, the thought of sitting in with a book was just like, you know, boring. But times they have changed, because now I'm a complete bookworm. I have been for a good few years now. Out of all my obsessions that I've had and I've got bored with, reading luckily has stayed with me. It's such a big part of my life. I'm still obsessed with books and reading and all things with it. So, you know, when I was a kid, I used to read all the time. And when I was a teenager, I still read, but not as much. And then when I got to kind of college and stuff and started going out, I suppose it's really wrong, but it was a kind of vibe of reading is boring, you're a bit of a nerd, you're a bit of a geek if you read. So I kind of just stopped reading, which is really annoying, and it really upsets me now, actually, that I wasted so many years not reading books, you know. And so, yeah, in my 20s, I don't know how many books, probably like one or two, if that. But like now, I read all the time. I read every day. And to be honest, that is thanks to Nathan, because when I met him, he was a bookworm. Now I read more than him, to be fair. But he kind of got me into reading. And like when he'd come round and stuff, you know, we'd have a few days together while he was here. And, you know, he'd bring his book with. And I'll be honest, I used to get a bit jealous. I'd be like, oh, you're sitting reading. You look really relaxed. And then I would start going to the library, picking up books and really getting absorbed into these stories and the whole kind of escapism that reading brings. And yeah, now I'm a total bookworm nerd, and I love it. So read everybody. It's good for you. Don't drink now. Oh, okay. Yes, I am totally teetotal. I don't drink alcohol at all, apart from the odd sip here and there, and then I just act stupid and embarrassing. But yeah, in my 20s, look, I wasn't like a heavy drinker or anything. Don't get that interpretation of me. But I did drink a lot compared to now, which is obviously none. You know, when you're going out and about and stuff, people are like, oh, have a sip of this, have a sip of that, or buy a bottle of this and buy a can of that. And you do end up drinking. And I used to feel really awful from my drinking. I used to get horrible hangovers. I used to feel so rotten the next day, sick, and just didn't want to do anything, tired. And also, I just didn't like the feeling of, like, not having control. You know, I did some things I'm not going to talk about when I was drunk, and you just think, oh, God, you know, I shouldn't have said that, shouldn't have done that. I didn't like that. I didn't like the aspect of not having control over your actions and stuff, you know, and situations. And to be honest, I just didn't, like, looking back now, I don't think I really ever liked the taste of alcohol. Like, some of the WKDs were nice and that, but, like, in general, you know, like cider, beer, ooh, just vile. So now, you know, I just have Pepsi Max, orange juice, cups of tea and coffee. I'm happy with that. I'm genuinely happy and not drinking. And as I say, I've been teetotal for many, many years now, so it's good. This sounds really sad, this one, but it is quite funny. It says, loads of friends then, hardly any now. Start crying. This is out of choice, by the way. It's a personal choice. Well, I say that. Some of them I'm quite sad about, but it is what it is. But yeah, when I was younger, like literally I saw my friends all the time. It was either during the afternoons, you know, after work, then in the evenings, either going around theirs or like going out for drinks or whatever. And it literally felt like I didn't really have any time for like myself, my family. It was literally friends, friends, friends. And I had so many different groups of friends as well. This one didn't know this one, this one. So I had kind of separate groups, which I really liked. Or sometimes I'd just see one girl on her own, and then I'd go out with the girls on a Tuesday, and I know the pub quiz on a Thursday. So there was always something. I was always around lots of friends. You know, look, I loved it at the time. I've got some good memories, and you know, I made a lot of lovely friends at the time who I had some good funny, you know, silly moments with, and dancing and singing and being silly, and just, yeah, just really fun times. But like at the same point, as soon as I started getting like things with like my mental health, like my depression, my anxiety was starting getting worse, they kind of backed away. It's kind of like they only wanted me as the Minx, like the character who is, you know, the Minx and character of like, you know, humorous and funny and a bit of a show off. And as soon as I got more serious subjects and wanted to talk about depression and anxiety, it was kind of like, yeah, bye. They didn't want that part of me. And so, yeah, and also obviously, you know, fallouts with friends over the years, or sometimes you just grow apart from people, they move away, or they have kids, they have relationships, and you just kind of separate for various reasons. And, you know, if I'm honest, I've got like, I could put my friends on, you know, my hand, like I've got hardly any friends. And so look, sometimes that upsets me. If I sit and think about it, I'm like, oh, you know, no one really likes me. But then the other part of me thinks, actually, I'd rather have a few friends that I actually like and trust than a load of fake friends. You know, the obsession when I was younger in my 20s was to get everyone to like me. I wanted to, you know, just be Miss Popular. But now I'm like, I don't need those fake people. I'd just rather have a few genuine people than a load of, you know, fake people. So yeah, you know, having hardly any friends now isn't necessarily a bad thing. It is actually a good thing that I've kind of chose to be like that. The next one says, in love, in a happy, healthy relationship now, and not a negative and abusive one. Well, that obviously is an improvement. In my 20s, I had horrible relationships with horrible people. I'm trying not to be negative, but there's no other way about it. You know, these people were jerks in many ways. And yes, sometimes it was physical, sometimes it was mental, sometimes it was both. And, you know, kind of in my 20s, I honestly thought that was what love was. Like, oh, this is love. Well, this isn't that great. It's not, you know, it's not what it says that it's going to be. You know, when you watch the movies, it just felt like, you know, is this all I'm worth? Is this all I'm good enough for? Is this person just going to be like all I'm going to get? Like, I'm really, you know, but over the years, obviously, I got rid of the rubbish. As they always say, you kiss a lot of frogs to get your prince. And I found Nathan. And, you know, obviously now, we've been together over 10 years. And, you know, look, I think you'll know, we've had our ups and downs here and there. But in general, it's been ups. Out of 10 years, I can honestly say, like, he's an amazing person. He's my soulmate. I love him to bits. And he is just, you know, we always laugh together. No matter what's going on, we always find something that we'll find some humour in and laugh about. And that, you know, laughter to me is a big thing. It's really important. And I love him to bits. And it is good to finally know that, yeah, you know, I can be loved for who I am. And I can love someone for who they are. And that's really special. So I would have kind of gone back to, like, old me in my 20s and said, get rid of the idiots. You are far better. But there we go. Hindsight is a good thing, right? Okay, going out most nights, pubs and clubs, now staying in with a book. Yeah, pretty much is what I did. You know, there was literally, you know, maybe one night out of the week that I would be in, to a point where it used to cause a few issues with my mum, because, you know, it was just me and her at the time here, and she was like, all you do is go out. And it wasn't to get away from her. Like, it was just because I love the buzz. I love the feeling of going out. I loved, you know, making new friends, meeting new people. You know, just everything about being out I just really enjoyed. And then as soon as I'd come home to being on my own, I think that's when my kind of depression kicked in a little bit. So I kind of saw going out as an escapism, but really I wasn't dealing with what, you know, was going on in my own head. But yeah, now I just don't go out. Like, I go out, obviously, out, but you know, like, no clubs, pubs, not my thing. You know, me and Nathan don't go to pubs. I mean, very now and again, but like, it's not our thing. And as for clubbing, it's, yeah, I don't think I'd last 5 minutes in a club. Like, back in the day, I was, woo, and now I'd be like, just sitting in a corner or something with a Diet Coke. But look, I enjoyed those times. They were good times, you know, and I used to love dancing and just, you know, just having a fun laugh and that. But like, it's just not me now. I genuinely, in my 40s, prefer to sit there, chilled out, you know, watching a documentary with Nathan, or reading my book, or just chilling. And I love that. That is me now. That is who I am now, and I'm genuinely happy with that. Okay, next one. Addicted to soap operas, but hate them now. When I was younger, I blame my mummy for this, because she got me into soap operas from a really young age. I was watching Dynasty, Dallas, you know, Knots Landing. I love Knots Landing, actually. If Knots Landing returned, I probably would watch that. But anyway, but yeah, I was addicted to them, and it sometimes got so bad that I would, you know, be late to meet people because I'd have to watch the end of the show, and you know, reading all the magazines about what's going to happen. And can I just say, there's nothing wrong, you know, if you like watching soaps and that's all good. I mean, Mum still watches them all, and, you know, look, you like what you like. But for me, I think it was because back in the day, soaps were really, like, more fun in the 90s and stuff. Obviously, you had your dramas and, you know, all that, but, like, it was more, like, light-hearted. And I think soaps become really dark, dealing with issues that were, it's quite serious, dark issues. And I think, in a way, it's important that soap operas do cover issues that are a little bit more maybe taboo, and it helps people who are watching. But for me personally, as a viewer, I just wanted to watch a soap because it was fun and, you know, dramatic. I didn't want to see about murder and rape and God knows what, you know. So I just kind of got sick of them through that. And also the fact that it felt like the storylines were just recycled with just different characters, you know. And yeah, I just don't watch any soap operas anymore. I'm trying to think. I mean, you know, it's not a soap opera, but I do watch Made in Chelsea and Towie, The Only Way is Essex, which are not soap operas, but they kind of are. They're kind of like reality soapy kind of vibe. But, you know, anyway, but I don't watch like EastEnders, Coronation Street, Emmerdale, none of them. Nothing. Okay, next up I've put allowed show off in public, but now socially awkward. Socially awkward, Laura. Sorry, I always say that. Yeah, when I was out and about, you know, as I say, back in the day, I would look. If I think about myself now, I cringe. It's quite embarrassing. And actually, sometimes if I bump into people in the street that I knew back in there, you know, and I don't know why I always have to go, I'm not like I used to be. You know, I'm sitting at home reading a book with a cup of tea now, and that it's like they're probably thinking, so I don't care. But it's just, I was so different back then. I'm kind of embarrassed of some of the like ways that I acted, and I was a show off, and I was loud, and I wanted attention, and I think, yeah, that's all I can say to excuse myself. Now, oh, there's a little moth thing. Go away. No. Now I'm in public. I'm just very like kind of keep to myself, and I'm very socially awkward, and I'm confident to a degree. Like, you know, if I go in shops and that, I'm friendly to the staff, and it's not that. It's just that I don't feel the need to show off and be stupid and be loud, or do you know what I mean? Some people think, well, hold on, you vlog in public. That's kind of showing off, but it's not really. Like, I'm doing it quietly. I'm not walking around shouting. I'm literally with a phone going, oh, here's me shopping. You know, I don't see that. And actually vlogging helps me with my anxiety. If I'm social anxiety is bad that day, actually calms me down and like distracts me when I'm filming. So I look at that as a positive. But yeah, I'm definitely not a show off anymore. Only a little bit. No, I'm not. And in actual fact, as I say, I'm just very socially awkward. I say the wrong thing, or I talk too much, or yeah, I'm just awkward. Hashtag awkward. Next up, my eating habits have changed. I've put here, ate lots of crisps and chocolates in my 20s. I did. My eating habits were terrible. Look, they're still not perfect now, but they're definitely better in my 40s than in my 20s. Like, oh my God, the things I would eat, terrible. Bags and bags of crisps, one after another, biscuits, chocolate bars. And also every time I was going out, you know, you'd finish at the pub, And then we'd all be like, oh, should we get some cheesy chips? Should we get a burger? Should we get a pizza? Should we get it? And it was, you know, very frequent. So I don't do any of that now. Yeah, I have the odd takeaway. Ain't gonna lie. But not that much. And also, I don't eat crisps anymore. I do have chocolate, but nowhere near as much. No, I might have like a chocolate milkshake or like a Kinder Egg or Ripple. But literally, I don't eat as much as I did of all the crap. So, yay for me. Okay, next one is quite an emotional one. No, it's not that emotional, but it's just the fact that now I'm closer to my dad than I was in my 20s. Mum and dad split up when I was 14, and you know, I found it really hard to bond with my dad for a long time. And obviously I had this anger towards him from, you know, how he treated my mum and blah 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 blah. And so yeah, I think for about a year we didn't really talk. And then it was actually my grandma, bless her, who kind of got us to, you know, she's like, you've got one dad, sort it out. And so we started to meet up again, and he'd come here and we'd go out, and it was kind of like building up that bond again. But I never really felt, I don't know, like connected to him. I felt like he didn't really like me. And I think because the way I was acting in my 20s, like, you know, dating lots of different guys and, you know, not settling down in an actual job, always like being a temp at different places and going out partying. I think he just kind of thought, oh, you know, you're wasting your life. What are you doing? And I think once I got with Nathan, I was obviously settled, and I was, you know, doing the same job for a long while, and just more grown up into different things as well. I could have conversations with my dad about things that I knew about, which, you know, in my 20s I wasn't really clued up on. And I think we just, yeah, over the years we have got closer. Look, there's still things that my dad would say now and again that really piss me off and upset me, but then it's family, is what happens. I'll probably say things that annoy him, so it's all good. But, you know, I genuinely feel like me and my dad are closer now. We've got more in common, and the things that we talk about are like interesting. So yeah, me and dad, we're like that now. And we both support West Ham, so it's all good. All right, next up, we've got a couple left. Well, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4 left. Okay, listen to music all the time, not so much now. Yeah, in my 20s, I literally listened to music all the time. The minute I got up, you know, during work, after work, when I got home, everything. I just couldn't not listen to music. And I don't know, thinking back, if it was a kind of coping mechanism, maybe, or just that I really like music. I don't know, but it was literally an obsession. Now I barely listen to music. You know, I'll put the odd songs on when I'm getting ready to go out, or if I'm doing the housework, or sometimes when I'm walking in the street, you know, I'll listen to some music. But like, I just don't anymore. I haven't got clues in the charts. You know, there's a few modern songs that I like, but apart from that, I don't really, yeah, I've got no interest in it really. Apart from that, when I do listen to music, it's always old school stuff. It's not really as much current, apart from, as I say, a few selected newer people. Like, I love Manskin, I love Lewis Capaldi. I've got really heavily into Lewis Capaldi lately. He's brilliant. But yeah, most of the stuff I listen to is more old school, especially like 80s, I think. Okay, meet up with friends. Yeah, this is kind of similar, like I said before. You know, I was always out and about. I was always seeing my friends. Now well, don't really have many, but the ones I do have, I just literally see them like once a month or once every 2 months. And this is going to sound really mean, but I've got to be blunt. I like it that way. And it's nothing personal to these people, because I genuinely like my friends that I've got. But like, I have my own space. I like doing my own thing and having my own space. Am I a bit of a loner? Probably. Obviously Nathan's my best friend, so I'm with him every day. So that's not like I'm just like a total loner, but like other people, I just like seeing now and again. And in a way, it's kind of better, because you look forward to seeing them. There's more to chat about. I think if you see someone all the time, it can get a bit like, oh, what do we talk about? Whereas if you haven't seen someone for a while, you've got, you know, so much to catch up on. And I prefer that personally. But yeah, in the day, I had to see my friends pretty much every day. And it was too much sometimes, you know. It used to upset me, because I used to think, oh, I just want to do this and do that. Oh, I can't, I've got to meet so-and-so. Oh, I can't, I've got to meet so-and-so. So I prefer it like this. Drink. I can't even read my writing. Drive. I was going to say drink everywhere. What? Drive. My writing is terrible. Yeah, drive everywhere, but now walk everywhere. So yeah, in my 20s, I obviously got my car, and it was a big thing for me to pass my driving test. It took me quite a lot of times to pass, but anyway, that's a story for another day. And you know, when I did actually get my car, I was so proud. Like, it was a little Hyundai, silver Hyundai called Daisy, and she was pimped out to the max, you know, lots of pink everywhere, girly girl and all that jazz, and fluffy dice. Of course, you got the fluffy dice, nodding dog at the back, you know. And I was so happy to get my drive in and, you know, get into the car and that, but you know, sadly with my anxiety, it was so bad that I had to stop driving completely. And sadly, I did end up having to sell my car, which really broke me. And it still does. If I think about it, it really upsets me. But, you know, end of the day, I was paying for a car that I wasn't using. I couldn't afford it. And it was, you know, the car was just going to get ruined because the battery was constantly dying and all that. So anyway, I hope someone's using Daisy now and enjoying her. But yeah, back in the day, I think with the car, I would literally drive everywhere. You know, need to go up the shop 5 minutes up the road? I'll just get in the car. It's not good. You know, there's so many people that do that. And now I'm like, I literally walk everywhere. Even if I've got heavy shopping bags, which I'll be honest is the only time I do miss my car, actually, big time. Because sometimes they're heavy. But, you know, obviously it's better, it's healthier, it's more exercise to obviously walk than just get in a car. So yeah, in my 20s, I was pretty much in the car all the time. I didn't really walk that much, apart from when I was, you know, in shops and stuff. But like now I walk everywhere, every day. And the other last one that we're going to end is religion. Let's take it deep before we go. Yeah, so, you know, in my 20s, I was and before that, I was completely atheist. No interest in religion. I didn't believe in any of it. I thought it was all a load of mumbo jumbo. And my grandma, bless her, she was very religious. Well, not like full on, but she, like Orthodox, but she was very, you know, religious, Jewish. And the amount of times, bless her, that she tried over the years to kind of get me into the faith and try and teach me things about it. And I'd be like, no, not interested. And actually, it's something that I do regret is being quite disrespectful to my grandma about that, because yes, I had the right to say I'm not interested and that I want to be atheist. But I should have done it in a nicer way and not so disrespectful to her faith and stuff. So I think I'm always going to kind of have that guilt. But on the positive, I think I've made up for it over the last good few years, because being on YouTube, being on social media, I'm very, you know, proud of my Jewish faith. I wear my Star of David necklace in videos and shows, and, you know, always like kind of tweet about Jewish issues and stuff, and, you know, try and fight anti-Semitism. So I think Grandma would be proud of me finally for, you know, getting into it. And yeah, in my 40s, I'm now, and in my 30s, obviously, I was, you know, finding my faith and finding my kind of relationship with God. And, you know, I just feel that having my Jewishness is makes me a better person, and it gives me comfort. You know, if I'm feeling stressed or down, or, you know, I need just a little bit of guidance, I just feel like there is something there. Whereas in my 20s, I was just, nah. All I was interested in was being stupid and dancing and showing off. So yeah, there we go. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed hearing my little, you know, information of how I've changed. And it is something that you should sit and think about yourself. How have you changed? And what would you say to the old you? You know, as I say, like, I'm sad when I think of some of the stuff, you know, especially like the relationship stuff, the abuse that I, you know, had to suffer and go through. It's awful. And I sit and think now, like, it doesn't feel like it was me. Like, I know it happened to me, clearly. But, like, I can't believe, like, if someone would have treated me the way these people treated me then, now, they wouldn't last 5 minutes. Like, I would literally be like, but back then I was so, like, insecure and just a different person that I did put up with a lot of crap and nasty, horrible things. And as I say, I wish I could have just told myself to be stronger and get away from these people instead of wasting time and making myself feel, you know, sad. But, you know, also looking back, I'm happy that I did have some fun times, and I managed to, you know, get out and go through that stage of being popular and having to, you know, walk into a place and having everyone be like, hey Minx, hey Laura, because, you know, it was fun, and I did embrace it and enjoy that. So, you know, look, there's good and bad stuff. But overall, I can honestly say I prefer being in my 40s. It's not a bad thing. I thought when I hit 40 a few years ago, it just, like, I was dreading it, you know. And I can honestly say at 43, I don't really feel any different. Well, only in positive ways. I just feel more me. I feel like I've settled into my own skin and my own mindset, and I love myself for who I am. I don't think I'm perfect by any means, But I love that about myself, you know. I love the fact that I can be quirky and different, and I can wear my heart on my sleeve. I can be emotional. You know, I can be my own worst enemy, but I also can be my biggest supporter, my biggest fan, you know. So I think I'm more me now. This is me. I think the me in my 20s was more kind of like, I don't know, trying to fit in, trying to be someone, trying to be popular. It was all about trying. And now it's just being. God, I feel like some lifestyle guru. I kind of like this. But yeah, basically 43, rocking it. Anyway, right, so what I'm going to do now is I want you to carry on watching. Maybe I'm making a mistake doing this, but there we go. I'm going to include some photographs now of pictures of me in my 20s, okay? And I want you to be, actually, no, don't be honest. I want you to be, like, reasonably honest and tell me what you think of, you know, do I look much different, or do I look better with loads of makeup or without makeup? Look, nothing on. Look, if I was rubbing it, it'd come off, and it's not. And just, like, you know, if you're nosy and you want to see what I look like in my 20s, you can find out. So I was a lot more kind of, how can I word this, provocative looking, you know, as I say, cake loads of makeup, tight tops, low cut tops, short skirts, knee-high boots. Now I'm more of a kind of sweatshirt and leggings girl. It's all about comfort in my 40s, whereas then it was all about trying to look a certain way. So I'll include some photos and you can have a look at little mini me. Alright everyone, thank you for watching, and as I say, please leave a comment, please subscribe to my channel, really appreciate that. Leave a big old thumbs up, and don't forget MinxLaura123 ASMR is my other channel if you want to check that out. I do videos to help people with anxiety, ironically, because I've got it, and insomnia, and yeah, just chill videos. So check that out. Link is down below for that, as are all of the links to my social media: Twitter, Instagram, Goodreads, TikTok, and guess what? I have a throne wish list. If you care to spoil me or treat me, I have a throne wish list. It's down below the link. I've added some new stuff. I've got some new Lego, because me and Nathan have got super addicted to Lego now, especially me, because I can't stop looking it up all the time. So yeah, we've got Lego on there. I've added some like arts and crafts stuff. There's some Nightmare Before Christmas things. Feel free to treat me. Alright everyone, take care, lots of love to you, and here are my mini me 20s vibe photographs.